Well, hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Fundamental Labs, day three here. So we have a three-part series. Today is all about Research Center. If you caught our previous days, thank you for joining us again. If not, we do have other sessions, just to let you guys know, Risk Center and Income Center as well. But today's all about Research Center. So we have a ton of stuff to go over. But before we get into that, just a brief introduction. My name is Ian, part of the coaching team here at Nitrogen. And joining me today is my most amazing teammate, Stephanie. Stephanie, how you doing today?
Hey, Ian, doing well. Glad to be back for day three and share all our fun info today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a ton to go over. So before we get into the actual content itself, just a few intro items. So firstly, housekeeping. You guys may have noticed the lines are muted when you jump into the session. That's just so that we can focus on the topic at hand. But that said, we love to interact with you guys. So questions, we encourage questions. Drop those in the Zoom Q&A box down there in your Zoom window. If you want to leave us a comment, drop that in the chat. And we do have a bunch of resources inside your Zoom window as well. So if you click on that little resource button, you'll find some how-to guides in there for you. And then in terms of what we're diving into today, our agenda for today, again, today's all about Research Center. So we're going to be diving into analytics. It's going to be a very analytic heavy day. We're going to show you how you can leverage those to differentiate your value, build out visual portfolio comparisons. We'll be doing stuff inside stats, inside multi-view, and then some best practices for documentation and a few hidden gems at the end as well. So we got a lot to cover today. Now, again, before we get into stats and all of that, just want to call out, let's get logged into Nitrogen. And I'll call out here that it's going to be a fairly interactive session. We'll have some hands-on activities for you guys to go and practice sort of what we're preaching here, give you guys an opportunity to click through. So if you want to follow along now, we'll give you time to play around inside of your account as well. But before we do that, I just want to call out how you guys can continue to keep getting help even after today's session. Now, we call this out every single time, but just want to sort of beat that dead horse here because it is super important that you guys know where to go. So the help tab in the bottom right-hand center of bottom right-hand corner of your page here is going to be our help center. This is where you can get more help. We have things in there like announcements, so stay up to date with new things, guided tours that's going to walk you through actual individual points and clicks. We have help articles, training webinars. So if you enjoy content like this, jump in there. And then our on-demand library as well. And checklists. If you want to go through the checklist, sort of hone in on a particular center or topic, you can use those checklists as well. On top of that, we have a fantastic support team. So if you want to reach out to our support team, you need a little extra help, maybe something isn't looking right to you, or you just have a question, you can reach out to our support team via email, phone, or live chat. We have all those three of those options there. And the live chat is 24/7. So if you are burning the midnight oil or you're a weekend warrior, you can jump into our live chat anytime there. Okay, so before we jump into the next section, again, I just want to sort of reiterate here that today is going to be a lot of very analytic heavy, but we're not going to focus on individual points and clicks as much as we are use cases. So if you need help with those individual points and clicks, jump in that help center, use those resources inside Zoom here, and you'll be on your way there. But with the first use case here, I'm going to pass it over to Stephanie. Basically, this use cases using those powerful analytics to win clients. So with that, Stephanie, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ian. So yeah, let's paint the picture and imagine you're meeting maybe with a high net worth prospect. They're, considering working with your firm. Maybe they're assessing another advisor as well. But you really want to have the analytics. Maybe they're kind of a numbers-minded person, and you want to have the tools that can differentiate and show why your model or your investment recommendations are a better option for this client or prospect. So, with Research Center and some of the analytics tools that you have, you're much more equipped to do that. So, let me pull up a profile here. So first thing we're going to go into, if you're working with a client or a prospect profile, let's say that high net worth prospect, and you want to create a proposal that's going to really knock their socks off and have analytics to back it up, we're going to navigate to their profile and pull up their proposal in this instance. Now, I'll mention really quick while we're here on the overview, if you see this little gray sidebar, you can pop this open. This is our new AI client agent, Nucleus. So if you want to jump into any of the tools that we show you today, like stats, things like that, you can open Nucleus before you click anywhere else and just have Nucleus help you execute the tasks that you're looking to do. So you can have Nucleus, open up our stats analysis for a proposed portfolio or create a stats multiview, which we'll also get to today. But come in here and interact with Nucleus. Think of it as like your AI assistant. You can come in and have it do tasks and update things and all of that. So we wanted to point that out. Let's use it, for example, let's go into open stats for the proposed portfolio. So we'll pull this open here and it'll think a second and then get you a link or the destination that you need and give you that information. So it's thinking, it's doing its best. So this is one way that you can access stats. What we can also do is go right into the proposed portfolio. So while that thinks, we'll come back and visit it. But you can also come into the proposed portfolio, and with Research Center, you'll see stats at the top above your individual accounts. And again, Research Center is either a part of the Elite subscription or an add-on to sort of a base subscription. So if you see stats in your account, then you're good to go. So we're going to click on stats and open this up. And there's a ton here. So what I recommend is maybe ahead of a prospect meeting, if you want to really dive into the analytics, scroll through all of these different areas and kind of explore, all right, what would bring the most value to my client conversation or my prospect conversation? Obviously, up at the top, we hear advisors using this proposed portfolio summary a lot. You can highlight costs, you can highlight trailing returns. You can continue to drive home that sort of 6 month historical range of like, here's the normal performance that we're recommending for your investments. But you can also go a little bit deeper. A lot of advisors we hear from like to talk about modeled performance with their clients. You can add comparisons like a current portfolio versus the proposal, and then have that nice sort of date graph to show folks performance figures with additional analytics down at the bottom. So if you really like to get into the weeds on things like standard deviation and drawdown and stuff like that, this is going to be your go-to tool. Now I'll show you here a quick tip in the upper right-hand corner. These are all of the different sections. If you scroll down to modeled performance and you click on modeled performance in the upper right corner, this is sort of your quick navigation. We have widgets on diversification, asset class, stock intersection. You see all of the options here. So scroll through and figure out like what might add the most value to your prospect conversation. I'll tell you a quick story with stock intersection. I was working with an advisor one time and he had gone into stock intersection. He was preparing to meet with a prospect and he realized that based on like the funds and stuff that the prospect had, they had a really heavy weighting in like one or two stocks. I think the top stock was like 30% of the equity exposure in their portfolio was a single stock. And he didn't think the prospect was really aware of that. So he brought it up in the meeting, and the prospect like really appreciated that. So that's just like a single story of how you can use the different parts of stats. So scroll through here, check it out. I'm going to take us back up to the top and really show you a cool way to do side-by-side comparisons as well. And that's in the multi-view tool here inside of stats. So if we go to multi-view, where you saw those in modeled performance, the current portfolio proposal benchmark, you had sort of that singular performance graph. Well, this multi-view allows you to add, I think, a total of 5 comparisons across the screen, and you can show clients and prospects this side by side by side view. So you can show it, come in and show them, again, sort of driving home the why of your investment recommendations, why they're better, why they're smarter, and have all the numbers and facts and figures to back that up. So this is Stats Multiview. Come in here. It's inside of Stats on the top left in a tab. You can add additional comparisons. You can open the comparison adder and change your benchmark as well. So feel free to customize this to your heart's content. But it can be a really cool way to compare portfolios, compare funds, like really whatever you're looking to do. So this way, the data and the numbers aren't just for you. It can also be a nice visual for your clients and prospects. So next up, we're going to give you a chance to jump into multi-view and explore a little bit. Ian, while I tee up that activity, anything else we want to add for our conversation on stats and multi-view here?
So, a few things I always like to call out here. If we navigate back to the overview for stats, Stephanie, on this, oh, sorry, inside
It's
stats,
all good.
because it's such a long page, it requires a lot of scrolling. I always like to point out if you scroll down just a little bit, the top right there is actually going to turn into a little drop down menu for you. And then you can just quickly navigate to whatever widget you're looking for. So, just a little pro tip there. I always like throwing that out there. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Well, we're going to tee up an activity for you guys so you can get some hands-on practice. We'll play this again. If you have questions, drop those in the Q&A at the bottom. We'll give you some focus time, and then we'll come back and walk you through a couple more use cases for you.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you taking the time to engage with that little activity there, get some hands-on experience with stats and multi-view, and of course the poll responses as well. We always appreciate you guys engaging with those too. But let's move on into our next section or sort of our next use case here, which is making the best recommendations through data-backed research. Now, we're going to jump into discovery in a minute, but I just want to sort of set the level set here, kind of give us an example of when we might want to do some data-backed research. Now, just imagine you're working with clients and maybe they're nervous about market volatility. That's a very real thing these days. Or maybe just comparing portfolios in general can be a little nerve-wracking to them if you're going to make an allocation change or some sort of movement there. You want to show them that your strategy is based on real risk-adjusted analysis so that they feel confident staying the course with you, right? So building that confidence can really start by you doing data-backed research, and that research can be done inside of Nitrogen with Discovery. So we're going to navigate to Discovery here. That's going to be on your top header there. Now, when you jump into Discovery for the first time, if you haven't used it before, what it's going to basically do is give you a prompt box here. So this is going to act very similarly to how you would prompt maybe something like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It is AI powered. So you can come in here, use natural language, tell it what you're looking for. So if you're looking for an ETF, maybe in the energy sector with a high GPA or something that's more efficient, you could just tell it that. So you can really enter anything here that you want. Now, when you click enter, what Discovery is going to do is it's going to take your language and sort of convert that into filters for our database. And it's going to search across our entire database, apply these filters. So it gave us a GPA of 3.5 to 4.3, so something that's more efficient. Apply that security type, it gave us that energy sector. Right, so it gave us everything that we're looking for here. And you can see at the top, if I grab my little annotate pen here, I'm going to circle this very precisely with my pen here. So 19 results. It gave us 19 results from our entire database, which is tens of thousands of securities. So very quickly, we've narrowed down into something that's more applicable for my use case here. If I'm looking for, again, something that's ETF in the energy sector. Now you can continue to get more granular here. You can even just sort of prompt it again in this refine your search box by applying more stuff that you're looking for. So maybe you're looking for something that has a low expense ratio. Stephanie, let's just try that really quick. Say a low expense ratio. It's going to take that language again and just turn it into a filter for you, and then find what out of these results can we say has a low expense ratio. It's going to apply that filter here, that expense ratio filter of 0 to 0.5%. And you can see it basically halved our results that we had before. So this is a really quick and easy way to get granular and take natural language prompts and turn it into intelligent filtering. And you can iterate past your initial search, right? So it's a really, really great way to do some research. Now, I keep saying great, but the next best thing here is what you can do is click on any one of these names, any one of these securities, and dive a little deeper. So maybe we're interested in something like this first security here, the XLEI. We can click on that guy, and it's going to give us the security stats page. Now, this is basically peeking under the hood for this particular security, and a lot of the same stats widgets are in here that we saw in the portfolio view that Stephanie went through. So we're going to have stuff in here like the 95% historical range, trailing returns, financial stats, model performance. We can see how it's actually performed. All of those same pieces are going to be in here, so you can take a little bit closer look on how this thing has actually performed, and you can add benchmarks to it. So maybe you're in here in model performance and you want to stack up a few of those securities to see how they compare to each other. You can come in there and add those comparisons. So discovery, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about how to use it because it's very easy to use, but there's a whole lot that you can do with it. So if we jump back there really quick, just a few more things I'm going to call out is if you are in here and you find something that you like, for example, maybe we dove into the XLEI and we're like, yep, that's something I want to keep, maybe add to a model, maybe implement into a proposal. I can hit that little star button. That's going to add it to your favorites list. Now, what that does is it puts it in a little drawer for you to view inside Discovery, but also inside that proposal building process. If you were to click in that add investment search bar, you would see a button there that says favorites. You can click on that. It's going to show you your list of favorites. So everything that you've started here. Now, this is very AI driven now, right? It's taking that natural language and turning it into filters. But if you wanted to go the more old school manual route, we always have the controls on the left hand side for you to use those filters. So you can come in here, select the filter, click on it, apply what you need from that filter, and then it's gonna allow you to filter down the list even more. We have so many filters. This has been improved even further. So there's been a ton of filters added in here. So definitely recommend if you've used Discovery before and it's been a while, jump back in. If you're new to Discovery, maybe just jump into the settings side panel here and just take a look at what's there. But again, you can use just natural language, tell it what you're looking for. It's going to find those filters for you. So that's Discovery. Anything you want to add there, Stephanie? Anything I might have missed?
I don't think so. If you want to restart your search, you can
Yeah.
just click that restart button over on the right-hand side. But yeah, like you said, Ian, it's really straightforward, super easy to just type in like regular language, what kind of securities you think you're looking for. Yeah, just kind of drill into it, test it out. We do have feedback available at the bottom. So you can like let us know how we're doing. If there's something that you want to see, give us feedback with that. That's always appreciated. But yeah, discovery is pretty straightforward, but getting more robust by the week and by the month. So
Absolutely.
all right, perfect. So yeah, encourage everybody to jump in there. And I will jump us to our next section here on documentation. So if you've done all of the research and all of that to build out your models, build out proposals, then maybe you're ready to document what you've created. So you can go into the reports section up at the very top or navigate to reports via the create report button whenever you're on a client profile. And that will bring you here to reports builder. And this is where you can start with a report template and you can create your report there. So you have, with Research Center specifically, you have some additional report templates, and that includes the stats overview and the stats multi-view. So you have, of course, the snapshot if you want kind of a single summary. But let's say you really liked that stats multi-view and you want to get it in a printed version. You can do that. So you click on that stats multi-view report template. And then there are other elements over here on the left. We have an element library, so you can add other components to the report if you want to customize it. One time I heard from an advisor where he came in and basically added every single report element and then generated the report. And once he had that PDF document, he just kind of went through it page by page, and seeing it with the client data helped him select which report elements were most valuable for him. So kind of seeing them literally on paper there or in a digital PDF kind of helped him figure out what he wanted to add to his portfolio or report, portfolio reports. And so, yeah, that helped him kind of experiment. And let's say you do add a particular component into the report, that then lets you save that report up at the top. So you see that template action, you could save it as a template. That way, maybe if you want to have like a stats template that's sort of your go-to, that's customized just the way that you like it, you can have that. And then on the right-hand side, you'll be able to add the specific client information, portfolio. Let me do that for us really quickly. So if we add the Bennett's that we were looking at earlier, maybe we want to add that comparison. So we do have default benchmarks. You can always change those. You can come in and add comparisons and all of that. So you can layer as many as you'd like. And then once you have it adjusted the way that you want, you can generate the report in the upper right-hand corner. So really straightforward. And it's, again, a fairly easy way to come in and sort of document that fiduciary care element, showing clients, prospects, like, hey, here's what we talked about. Here's, on paper, the numbers and everything that we reviewed, so that you can have that really nice client-facing friendly deliverable. So that's one report that you can print specifically with Research Center. And again, if you generate a report, you can email it to the client, you can print it, you can download it, whatever you need to do with your PDF document here. We always recommend saving it. That's a great thing to do. And the reports I like to point out are always date stamped, so that you can have your contact information on there. You can have the date of the report, and you have that documented for your clients. So, Ian, anything else that you would highlight with reports and deliverables before we give folks a chance to go in and make their own report?
I think you nailed it, Stephanie. So let's get
Fantastic.
into that. Yeah, let's get into that activity.
Perfect. All right. I will pull that up for us and then we will come back once it's complete.
Sounds good. Alrighty. Well, welcome back again, everybody. Always appreciate the engagement there. Love the poll responses as well. But just to make sure that we get things wrapped up here on time, I'm going to move us into our last section here. And that section is sort of our bonus round, hidden gems. What are the lesser known features inside of Research Center? So we'll jump back into stats because both of them live inside of that stats view. And what we're going to be talking about are Sandbox is first stop, and then within Sandbox, the optimizer. So just to sort of preface this, it's again going to be within a client proposal or portfolio inside of that stats view. And then when you click into stats on the right-hand side, there's going to be that side panel that we kind of showed earlier. Now, this side panel has a few things. First, it's going to have the spot where you can change those benchmarks or comparisons at the top. And then if you click on that second button there, you'll see this is the proposal sandbox, or if you were in a portfolio, the portfolio sandbox. Now, this is basically exactly what it's saying. It's a sandbox. It's a safe place where you can come in here and make changes to overall accounts, underlying holdings, test your assumptions, and come in here and sort of mix and match, swap out different things to see how it's going to impact the overall risk number and those underlying analytics. So, for example, I don't know, Stephanie, let's swap out, maybe let's just remove NVIDIA entirely and then maybe reallocate that amount into something like QQQ. So maybe just put, we'll do like 40% in QQQ. That's a lot, but let's see what it looks like. So we can come in here and make those changes on the fly. We could even entirely remove accounts if we wanted to. We could, again, change and adjust underlying holdings and then apply those changes to stats. Now, when you click the apply button, it's going to show that it's modified. You didn't actually change the original proposal here. You just modified this view to show what it would look like to change that allocation from NVIDIA to QQQ. So now we have the modified view here. You'll see that little modified tag there at the top left under there to let you know this is just a preview and showing us everything that's changed. Now, if we go back and open up the proposal sandbox, say this is something that we're happy with. We're like, yeah, this is actually probably a better version of the proposal. Let's review this and save it as a proposal. So now we can come in here, click review and save as proposal. It's going to give you a breakdown of what changed. So if there's been a change in the risk number, if there's been any changes to underlying holdings or total accounts, it'll give you that. And it's going to create that new proposal for you. You can give it a name. Now, again, this is a new proposal. It's not changed the parent proposal or the original one. That one still exists. So it's really that safe space for you to play around, test your assumptions, and make changes. Now, the next layer to this is the optimizer. The optimizer is a tool that's accessible inside Sandbox here, and you can click the little three dots next to any one of those accounts and click optimize. What this is going to allow you to do is select a target risk number and optimize to that risk number. So up or down to whatever risk number you want. So say the original investment portfolio account here is a risk number 74. And we're trying to target maybe a lower overall risk number for this portfolio for Mike and Lisa. So maybe we want to draw that down a little bit here and see if we can optimize this account to get there. Now, a few caveats here. If you look at the bottom list here, we have all of our underlying holdings and basically sliders to set min and maxes for each one of these. Now, if we don't apply any min and max, we just let it run buck wild. It might just select one and say, all right, we want to get there in the most efficient way possible to risk number 65. So why don't we just do like 70% in QQQ and then maybe 5% here, 5% there. It might do something pretty drastic, but if you want to keep at least a certain amount, a percentage of each one of these underlying holdings in there, apply a minimum. And then if you don't want it to go too crazy on the top end, apply a maximum. So I don't want any more than 40% in an individual underlying holding here. So with that, you can click optimize and it's going to try and get you to that risk number. Now, just sort of warning here. It's not always possible to optimize up or down to a specific risk number, right? So depending on the makeup of the underlying holdings, the makeup of the investment account here, if there's too much or too little volatility across the board, it might not be able to reach that higher risk number or that lower risk number, right? But in this case, we were able to get to a 65. It's showing us a preview here of what the suggested allocations are on the right-hand side. And you can say, yeah, that looks good to me. Or try again. If you want to apply the changes, it'll save it there. And then in this view too, you can then say, okay, let's now preview the whole thing in stats to see how it's been modified. So pretty cool tool for you to, again, test assumptions, make changes to the overall makeup of the portfolio without actually changing the portfolio itself, right? This is just sort of a modified view. So that was stats, or sorry, Sandbox and Optimizer. Kind of a mouthful there, a lot of words. Stephanie, anything you want to add there before we move into continuing resources?
There's the unmute. There we go. Nothing else I can think to add. Yes, go and check out Sandbox and Optimizer, tinker around with some of your portfolios. You might find a really valuable use case for yourself. But yeah, it helps
Totally.
your clients kind of know that you're watching things, you're watching the investments, you kind of dig into all of the stats on their behalf. They feel smarter, you're smarter, everybody wins. So yeah, a couple of things that we'll wrap up with. Let me share just kind of some takeaways for today. We want to encourage y'all, definitely practice what you learned today. Don't let the learning stop here. Go in there, use the discovery tool, jump into stats, jump into multiview, create a report, poke around with those things and start to get more familiar with them. Always jump into that help center too. We've got best practice guides, we've got step-by-step resources. If you want to dig a little bit deeper, I know we kept it kind of high level. We talked about a lot of different capabilities today, things that you can do in your day-to-day workflows, but maybe, less about kind of the under the hood math and methodology and stuff like that. Those types of things, if that interests you, are also available in our help center. So definitely check it out. We will go ahead and launch our end of session poll for today. Feel free to share all of your feedback with us. We love to kind of gather that and just make sure we're making these sessions as great as we can for you guys. And while you're completing that, we will put some additional training resources on the screen. So we mentioned that Help Center, contacting our support team through the Help Center, you can do that. Those video guides, office hours as well. I believe you can find those. It may be online, but I think we can also drop a link here as well to register for office hours if you want to join us. Those are kind of a small group, just pop in, pop out type of thing. If you have a question and you want to meet with one of the coaches here, uh, you can join us for office hours just when you're available Tuesdays. Those happen at a certain time each week, and you can sign up to join us. So, yeah, a couple of resources. But we will make sure to take some time today as well to answer any questions that you have. And before we do that, we'll mention coming up next, or one of the larger events that we have planned coming up soon is happening April 16th. I know at the very beginning, we mentioned Nucleus, your AI assistant, and what it can potentially do for you. But we're going to have a whole hour-long webinar talking about Nucleus and how you can add it into your workflows. So if that's valuable, please do come and join us. We would love to have you there. So scan that QR code or visit our website. We should have more details there for you. Perfect. So now we will make sure to take some time and answer your questions. So jump into the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom. We'll hang out there, make sure we get everybody's questions answered, and we'll come back and wrap up for the day.